DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin with DreAllDay.com. I'm going to explain to you a very important principle. And this will explain, I'm going to explain it, the basic science of it, and then I'm going to explain how it applies to your life practically. And it's all about consistency and discipline. Because actually just today when I'm recording this, I was on a coaching call with one of my students. And she said, Dre, one of my biggest challenges is that I have these goals and these things that I want to achieve, but one of my challenges is that I can never stay consistent and disciplined on anything. And we were talking about different stuff, and it kind of came back to that point. She said, Dre, what is it about me that is hard for me to stay disciplined and consistent? And some of you may have the same challenge. So I explained to her the science behind the challenge, and then I explained to her how it applies in her life. So I think this will help a whole lot of you. So first of all, any of you who has a challenge of being consistent and disciplined, I want you to understand there is nothing wrong with you. It actually means you are completely normal as a human being if you are challenged with being consistent and disciplined. And here's why. Any of you knows anything about, or if you've studied science, or if you remember from science class, because they probably taught us all this. They probably taught this to all of us when we were in school, but you probably don't remember, because why would you need to remember this? It's the laws of thermodynamics. All right, and the second law of thermodynamics, and I'm gonna keep this real simple so everybody can get it. The second law of thermodynamics is the law of entropy. What is the law of entropy? The law of entropy states, and I'm putting this in very simple terms, that every entity, that means a group, an inanimate object, or a human being, is always, constantly moving towards a state of higher and higher chaos. Meaning, we are always moving further and further into a state of disorder, also known as chaos. The only thing that counteracts this energy, this natural state, the natural thing for any person to do, or any group or any object, the natural thing for you to do is to move into a state of higher disorder. You're always becoming more and more disorderly. You're always dealing with more and more chaos if left to your own devices. The only way to undo or counteract this natural phenomenon is to have some type of energy system. That means something that has the capacity to do work in a mechanical sense. You have to have something in place that fights against this natural movement towards disorder. For example, when you were in elementary school, second grade, and the regular teacher didn't come to school that day, and you saw a substitute teacher walk into the classroom, what did you and all your classmates think to yourselves? Everybody thought, oh, we get to wild out today. We get to party. We get the classroom is going to be a zoo today. And it was only for one reason, because the person who normally represents standards and rules and parameters, the teacher, was not there that day. So you knew that meant without standards, rules, and parameters in place, you were allowed to just act a fool and act stupid all day that one day. And then when the teacher came back to school the next day, you went right back to following the rules. That's a practical example of what the law of entropy does. Another example, any of you who goes to the gym on a regular basis, or at least you want to go to the gym on a regular basis, when you're going to the gym all the time, what happens? You're losing weight, you're in good shape, your body's feeling good, your metabolism is working well, your digestion is going good, and your body is looking the way you want it to look. But on the other hand, when you don't go to the gym and you're not working out as much as you want to, and when let's just keep it at that. You're not going to the gym, not working out as much as you want to, what happens? You gain weight, your metabolism is not doing well, your body is not looking the way you want it to look, you're not getting in the shape that you want to get into, you don't feel good about yourself, and everything physically for you is going in the opposite direction. Why is this? Because the parameters and the standards and the rules that keep your body in shape, also known as working out, when they are removed from the system, then your body goes into a higher and higher state of disorder or chaos, also known as entropy. So I'm explaining all of that for y'all to understand this. If you're the type of person who is wondering why something is wrong with you, that you can't stay disciplined and you can't stay focused and you can't stay on a task, I'm here to let you know that yes, that is a good question to ask, but you're actually asking the wrong question. Because the question is not what's wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you when you're moving into a state of chaos and disorder and not able to stay disciplined and focused and consistent. You're actually a normal human being when you're not always focused and consistent. Being focused and disciplined and consistent, ladies and gentlemen, is abnormal. That is not the normal state of human beings. The normal state of human beings is to move into a state of entropy, because I just told you this is science. It's a law. It's not a theory. It is not a hypothesis. It's a law of thermodynamics, that you're always moving into the state of disorder. So if you want to be a type person who's disciplined and consistent, then what you actually have to do is go against the natural state of yourself as a human and be disciplined. And the way that you do that is you put systems and processes in place that allow you to be disciplined without you having to remember or try to force yourself to be disciplined. That's the mistake that a lot of people make with discipline. Because see, people might kind of understand what I just said, and then they say, all right, well, I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to be disciplined. So the first thing they go looking for is what? They're looking for motivation. Somebody motivate me to be disciplined every day. That is the wrong thing to look for. You look for motivation to get yourself disciplined. The problem is motivation is not consistent. Motivation does not last a long time. So that means you always got to go get more of it. It's kind of like being a drug addict. Every time you hit the drug, you feel great. But as soon as the high from the drug wears off, now you got to go high again. Now you got to get high again. Now you got to get high again. That's what happens when people look for motivation to get themselves in the right space. This does not work. So stop looking for motivation to be disciplined. Instead, what you need is a system and a process to be disciplined. When you have a system and a process in place to be disciplined, the systems and the processes work all the time, which means you don't have to get a hit, and then you gotta get a harder hit, and then a stronger hit, and a stronger hit. It's kind of like people who drink coffee. Every day you gotta drink coffee again to get your energy to the point that you're addicted to the coffee, and you can't do anything without drinking the coffee. So now the coffee owns you instead of you owning the coffee. That's what happens to people when you're always looking for more motivation in order to be disciplined. Don't look for motivation to be disciplined. Look for systems that make discipline easy. That way, you can be abnormal. You can go against the natural state of yourself as a human being. And instead of wondering what's wrong with you because you're not being disciplined, you understand that being disciplined is actually different than what most people do. So now that I've explained this process, I'm gonna tell you two things that you can do. Number one, go get your copy of my book, The Third Day, which is all about putting a system in place that makes discipline easy for you instead of you having to try to force yourself to be disciplined. That book is at thirddaybook.com. The book is free. All you're gonna do is cover the shipping. That's number one. Number two, those of you who are serious about really putting systems in place, not just from the book, but you're serious about implementing these in your life when it comes to your business, when it comes to your career, when it comes to your money and your long-term success, you want to have somebody like me. If you just heard me explain that, then you know that I know my stuff. Let me coach you and help you get these things in place the right way in your life and your business, so you can make the money you want to make, have the career and the life that you want to have, and you can live the way that you want to live. If that sounds like I'm talking your language, go to workonyourgame.net/apply. The link is down below. workonyourgame.net/apply. Like an application, apply. You can schedule a time to get on a call with me. We will talk about what your challenges are. I'm gonna ask you what your challenges are when you apply. We're gonna find out what your challenges are. We're gonna talk about those challenges, talk about what you want to have in your life, where you want to be in your life, and I'll tell you exactly how I can help you, or if I can't help you, I'll tell you that too, to get you where you want to be. But I probably can't help you if you're watching this video. So those are the two things. Get my book, go to workonyourgame.net and /apply. Get on the call with me, and let's talk about where we want to take your business. And the third thing, I'll give you one more bonus. Text me to get my daily motivation text straight to your phone for free. My number is 305-384-6894. Work on your game. Dre all day.